Selamat pagi. Boleh dengar semua? I feel like a YouTuber today, yeah. Anyway, selamat pagi semua. Good morning and 大家好. So I'm actually using multiple languages because one of the things that we're going to talk about is that we receive a lot of documents in different languages, and we want to show you how easy it is to use Google Docs to do the translation for you. Yeah. So let me take over the screen and share the slide. All right, I will start by introducing who is Awan Tech for some of you who are joining us for the first time here. So Awan Tech has, this is our mission and our vision. So we want to be a trusted partner in both technology and talent, which means that kita ada dua type of business. One is to sell technology and implement the technology for our customers. The second one is to grow the talent that is in Malaysia, yeah. Through also placement and certification and training. So kita offer training bukan saja dalam teknologi tetapi juga dalam soft skill, ya. So this is one of our lines of business, ya. Kalau berminat boleh hubungi kami later on through our link lah, ya. The other one that I want to share is that we actually look at things as a cycle, right? Kalau kita introduce new technology, tapi kita not ready for the new technology, that will be very difficult, yeah. So that's why we went into talent and also cloud services, because that is the future, and we want to prepare people for the future, not only in technology, tapi juga how do they get themselves ready to work in the new workplace, yeah. So just quickly, that these are some of the things that we offer in terms of technology. Kita boleh buat infrastructure modernization and cloud migration. We have many customers that we have already done this for. The other one that you're attending today is really our workplace work transformation. How do you work in a new world? Because a lot of us bukan saja kerja dari office, kita pun kerja dari rumah ke, ataupun dari cafe ke, dari kereta ke, and so on and so forth. So we want to make it easy for you to adopt the new way of working, which is kind of the new way that you actually experienced during MCO, yeah? And then of course, we also specialize in smart analytics. How do you take your data in order to derive information from it, yeah? And then finally, we have our professional services, which is not really related to technology, tetapi change management is actually a very important part of our business. Kita nak tolong our customer to adopt change, and we have programs that we set up according to we could do recommendation or work together with the customer to customize change management here, and of course we do training. These are some of the solutions that we specialize in, and we have collaborate with other partners juga, ya. So we don't only just work with Google or Workspace, tetapi kita ada technology partner. We just had a tech collab last week. So these are some of the partners we actually work with in order to do the kind of help customer to adopt working in a new world, yeah. And of course, these are some of the key projects that we actually work on as an example here, and some of our key clients. So you can see that we actually major in three areas. One is public sector, of course. Then the other one that we are really there is with education. And then we also work with commercial and GLC. Yeah? I hope that many of you are actually already our customer, or you are joining this session because you are quite curious about Workspace and how it differentiates between Microsoft Word and Google Docs here. So if you did not, later on I will share with you where you can find our past webinars here that we have actually run. So without much ado, I'm going to go into, these are the recognition. And so we will get into the actual session itself, yeah? We call it the ultimate guide. When I came out with this topic here, I was thinking, how many number of tips I not share, yeah? Actually, Google Docs dia banyak advanced tricks here. Tetapi I thought that 10 is terlalu kurang, so I landed on 15 here. Actually, 15 is just a figure that I thought would be better because most people do 10, yeah. Okay, so it's just So I hope that you will learn a lot during this session about the advanced tips and tricks for Google Docs. Because biasanya kita praktis saja, kita tak tahu ya, what are the other advanced features that we have in Google Docs. So I'm going to mix. So jangan pening nanti ya that I switch from the slide to the actual demo because I need to show you how to do it. Now, if some of you are curious, you boleh follow along here. Kalau you nak, you boleh open the Google Docs, follow along and see where I'm pointing the tools and all that here, and then you boleh cuba for yourself. Okay, so let me start with the first tip. Okay, so this is the intro, and I'm going to start with this one. If you have attended my last seminar, you will actually know about this here. When we used to work, we had many gadgets here. We want to listen to music, we want to work, we need a PC, we need a keyboard. But these days, right, everything we can do is in our pocket. So you can see that you can actually do everything in your pocket. And this is the way we have actually designed the unified communication within Google Workspace here. So you can see the logos. M is for email here. The next one is calendar, Google Drive. Now you see this kotak yang square ni. This represents all the editors that we have in Google Workspace that's available with all editions of Workspace. And the final one is Google Meet, is what you're using today. Yeah? So we're going to talk about the editors, and particularly today we're going to talk about Google Docs. Yeah. Okay. If you have any question here, as Hani just mentioned, please type in the chat or put in the Q&A so that we can get back to you. Now, if you have burning question and you takut you lupa just click on the raise your hand button and interrupt me. Kalau you tak dengar, what you can interrupt me is that when you cannot hear me or you lost the connection, please let us know. Okay. Right. Now, just a recap of what is Google Workspace here. Google Workspace consists of dua parts here. Satu ialah productivity. It helps to be more productive here, not distracting here. Okay, distracting your work. The other one is that how do we collaborate as a team here? Because we don't work alone, we need to work with many people here. So these are some of the products or applications that we bundle with Google Workspace in order to help you in these two areas. So just a brief recap. So you can actually create and collaborate in real time for Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides. Now, normally when we show this, right, everybody say, ini gimmick saja ya, I boleh nampak orang typing. But today I'm going to go a bit more advanced as to how you can further the collaboration and doing this in real time. So we're going to see a real demo of how you can actually work together here, and it's not a gimmick. We use Google Docs all the time to collaborate. Now, I'm going to talk about connected canvas. All the nama here used to be smart canvas here. So we're going to show you all the new features that we introduced in Google Workspace that makes it more interesting. I'm going to cover all the things later, but it's just to let you know that what are the additional features that you believe you could untuk collaboration. Now, the other one is connecting to people, and I'm going to show you. Hopefully, it works. I'm going to show you how, when you're working on a doc, you can bring the people into the document. I did mention last week, but hopefully then we get to see it in real life today. Okay. So always remember the number one is there's always just satu version of the document. I'm going to tell you about how you look for the previous version. So you're going to see it. And then, as I mentioned last week when we share a document, it is ideal that we share the link because this document is on Google Drive. Now, why we want to say share the link in any email is because then you can track siapa nak buka your document. You can even revoke access here. We're going to talk about that. And so that you don't have to recall the email. You know, right? Even though other people say they only record email, tetapi you cannot control the document that has already been downloaded. So that is one of the things. And of course, there's data protection. Now, today I'm not going to talk a bit about the application that is actually available because that needs additional software. But there is a capability where you can actually say, I want to create an encrypted document from the very beginning, yeah. And of course, no latency because everything is always the same copy. You tak ada kata, oh, you working on version 1 ke, version 2 ke, which copy you're working on, yeah. So that is the idea, that why we feel that Google Docs is very useful and really very productive when you are really doing collaboration together, yeah. Okay. Now, let's go on to tip number 1, yeah. Sharing is caring. How many times ya you buat satu document and something happened to your laptop? Tak boleh boot up ke, the Windows update fail ke, and you don't have a version of the document because you simpan document tu kat mana? Kat your laptop, yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about how we do sharing in Google Docs. Now let me just switch over to a Google Doc and I'll show you this, yeah. Remember, sharing is caring, yeah. Okay. So let me switch now to the doc. Okay, now I like to start with, you can see, yeah, okay. Now I like to start with saying that, okay, we always start with our Google Drive, yeah. There's 2 places you can do your sharing. Let's say, for example, I now open this document that I created, yeah, and now I want to share with other people, yeah. So what you do is that whenever you create a document, you jadi owner, you will be the only one who can actually access the document. Let me show you what I mean. Yeah. Kalau I buat satu new document, yeah. So you can have, like for example, a new document, you bagi nama dia, sample share, right? And when you click on this, yeah, the lock. I think a lot of people know this, right? So you can either share a link or share or type a group, yeah. So if you want to share to a distribution list, you boleh type juga, yeah. How do you create a distribution list in Google? Is that you set up a Google Groups here, and you tambah nama orang, the email in here, and then you can share. Now the person I want to share with is probably somebody who's not in my group, yeah. All right. So when I click share, nampak? So I can share with people and groups here. Sometimes I forget to look at the top to say I'm not sharing this tab here. And I'm going to put somebody that I'm sharing within my group here. And I can give them the type of access here. Now viewer means that dia boleh tengok saja, tapi dia tak boleh add anything here into the document. Dia boleh download saja ya. So that is considered viewer. So if you want to issue policy, document jadi policy, you don't want people to mess up your document, you bagi dia viewer saja, yeah. Now the second one is commenter, yeah. Now commenter means that they can create comments. So later on I'll show you a little bit about creating comment in a document. Now the third one is the all-powerful here lah, editor, yeah. When you give this access to people, dia boleh change your document, yeah. Tapi jangan takut ya, oh change nanti dia mess up my document. So later on, we're going to talk about how we can prevent people from messing up our document. So you can notify people, meaning that it will trigger an email to the person to say that they have shared the document. Now, more importantly is the expiration date. Yeah. So expiration ini you kata, when do you want this access to be expired? Yeah. Meaning that this person can no longer access this document after 1 bulan, or you can pick the date that you want, yeah, to do. So this is actually quite useful if you don't want people to look at the document after a certain date, maybe it's not valid anymore, and so on and so forth, yeah. So this is something that you can do. And then if you nak type a message, do type a message to this person. So I tak nak dia ada, I just put commenter and I'll say, hi, I am sharing this, yeah. Now this is optional, yeah. Kalau you tak mau, you don't have to send a message, and then you do a send. Okay, so now if you look at the access, you boleh nampak that who is the person that boleh comment on the document, and who is the owner of the document. Now kalau you nak is that you say, I want the whole domain to access this document, you boleh kata I want to give the whole company, ataupun when I share the link siapa yang ada link ini, dia boleh access. Yeah. So I would say that you would want to be careful by sharing this anyone with the link, especially kalau dia copy the link to everyone, you pun tak tahu. Yeah, dia copy the link to. Okay. So that is the sharing part. Yeah. Okay. Now, how do you check the sharing? So let me go back to my Google Drive, and I'm going to make sure that I share the tab here. So in Google Drive, you boleh check juga on this document who has access here. So for example, just now I said that I ada this document, I boleh nampak this one. Okay, even when you highlight here, you boleh nampak here, manage access. So this document is not the one that I did just now. You boleh manage access from here lah, here. Okay. So boleh juga, you boleh revoke access manage access from Google Drive. So two places for you to do sharing is from Google Drive or from the Google Docs system. Okay. So let me go back to my slide for tip number 2. I don't understand you. Now, I actually had this challenge this week here, which I really appreciate. Now, a lot of us, right, what we do is we copy and paste text and go into Google Translate, and hopefully we translate. But do you know that you can actually do translation within Google Docs itself? Yeah. So I'm going to switch and show you that how you can translate an entire document into a different language, especially when you're sharing this document with someone who doesn't understand, let's say, Bahasa Melayu. Yeah. So this is something that happened to me this week, that I had to translate about 20 documents from Bahasa Melayu to English for a partner that doesn't understand Bahasa Melayu. Yeah, and I was scratching my head and said, I'm not going to copy and paste 20 documents, which each of them have 20 pages. How am I going to do it? So I'm going to show you the tip of how to translate. Now, of course, I need to give you a disclaimer. Not everything can be translated perfect. Okay, the question is, if anybody really know, the owner does it. Yeah, the owner will set the link is only for you to access the document, but only the owner can set the expiration date. Yeah, can I revert to the original data after editing? Yes, I'm going to show you how that's done. Yeah, so be patient. It is one of the tips. Okay, yeah. Let me now go over to my doc. Now, let's say, for example, I have a document. All right. Now, everybody can see this. Actually, I have it open. So what I'll do is that you can all see this, right? So let's say I have a document to say, selamat. I'm going to just make it very simple, yeah. Selamat pagi semua, yeah. Now, there is a tool in the Google Doc itself here. Click on Tools, click on Translate. Okay? So when you click on Translate, dia akan tanya, what do you, and this is the new document name, what is the language that you want to translate this document into? Let's say, for example, okay, I don't understand Afrikaans, so I'm going to say I want to translate it to English here, and then I click on the button, now translate. All right. Okay, everybody can see this. So remember that the new document is called Translated Copy of Sample Share. Good morning, everybody. Okay, any question? It's actually pretty fast, but of course this one is very standard Malay, so it's actually quite easy to translate to English. Now, what happens if I want to translate again to a different language? So I can say lagi satu kali. I will just say translate this document, and I not translate to, for those of you who may understand Chinese, let me try to translate to traditional Chinese. Okay, if you know, 大家早上好, right? So it has now translated to a different language. Now you may ask me a question, right? Why think? But sometimes these documents are not in Word. So how do I do it? Yeah. Actually, there is a tool provided by Google Cloud that allows you to upload things like Google PowerPoint, a PDF, Microsoft Word, you upload it, it will do a translation for you. So I'm going to do that session perhaps in another webinar, but this is the case where you want to translate a document that's already in PDF and you have no way of converting it, or it is a slide here. So I've actually done it. It's pretty fast. It takes only like less than a minute. It's already translated. So I did this about last week and actually got a 75-page slide done in less than a minute. Yeah. And of course, it's not really accurate. Now, what is good about that tool is called the Enterprise Translation Hub. What it does is that you can actually set it up so that only people from your organization can use that tool, and who is it that can actually do the translation. Yeah. So, and it keeps it in the normal format. Yeah. Kalau PDF, dia akan buat PDF. Yeah. And so on and so forth. So I'm going to switch back to my Meet and see whether anybody has any question. Any question? No? Okay. So let me go back and change it to so remember that if you have so one of the things that I did for this was from PDF, I converted to Word. I convert to Word because Adobe cannot convert to Google Docs. Then I save it as Google Docs and then I translated it. So I need a few steps, but it actually saved me a lot of time, yeah, to do the translation for, I mentioned before, like 20 documents that I have to do, yeah. And I do this very often, okay. So let's talk about now tip number 3, drafting together and approvals. Now, I'm not talking about the real time where you type and you can see people's name, yeah? So I'm going to show you a little bit more advanced tips as to how you can do drafting things together, yeah? So let me switch again. So jangan pening, I will switch again. Oh, yes. What is the question? Okay. You did, is it Google Docs for your translate tool? You have to save the document first. When you have it at untitled, sometimes the translate doesn't come up. Yeah. Now, the translation is not exactly perfect for some cases. You do need to check, but it actually helps you a lot in terms of at least get 100, it's not 100%. I will tell you it's not 100%. Because we don't have enough people to what Bahasa Melayu. Now that is the history, right? The more testers we have, so I will encourage you to use the Google Translate tool because I need to check why your translate doesn't appear. Yeah, so grammar is okay. It's quite okay. Sometimes they get a bit misunderstood. Like they will translate proper noun. I have one case where they said mungkin batu, right? They say stone. Yeah, so those are the cases where you may want to add to the dictionary that this is a proper word, don't translate it. Yeah. Okay, so you do have to double check, correct? So it is not a legal document. You cannot use it as a legal document, but at least it gives you a guidance. Yeah. I really agree with the Pushpa. Yeah. Okay, but the more you test, the better it becomes. Now that comes to the case where, please, if you want to be safe, I will not say that it is bad, but if it is something secret, right, do not translate it using the website Google Translate. If you are translating secret document, yeah, jangan use the public one. I'm not saying about the one in the Word because we have some protection, but don't use the public one because the public one is used to collect feedback to improve our language. So you can give, like, let's say you can tell your staff if they are translating sensitive document, yeah, don't use the public version. Yeah, so as usual, you want to take precaution. Nanti ya bahan sulit pun you put, yeah. So in a way, it's just not that we will leak it, but some of the words may be used to train the AI, yeah, as usual. So do think about how you want to what translation, yeah. So let me kind of switch over to, all right. So this is the untitled document, and I'm going to call it collaborate together. Now, in this version, we actually have a couple of things that we have introduced, one of which is called the Smart Canvas. So you could do things like add, okay, and you can compose a email draft. Okay. Now, why is this important? Is because sometimes when we collaborate, we want to compose an email together. Now, how many times when you are doing email draft, right? You draft it and then you send it to someone to verify. Betul tak? Yeah. So you do that all the time. So let's say you use this smart. In fact, you can actually send it here. For example, once you click on this Gmail, it will actually show you preview. So don't do this until you are ready to send the email. So what you can do is that you could type the subject as usual to do collaboration, testing, collaboration. Yeah. Now, some of the things that you may not realize is this comment box here. Now, this comment box say, let's say for example, I want to say, let's do this webinar on 22nd of August. Yeah. Now, I can do stuff like I highlight this and then I add a comment. Can you see this? I add a comment and said, who do I want to target this part to here? And I'm going to do that and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to send it to Marian or Whiting here. And I said, please review this line. Yeah. And then I assign it to myself and then I say assign. Yeah. And it will say, oh, you don't have access. So remember, commenter. So if you don't want them to modify your document, they can only answer to your comment. So in this case, I want to give the person editor access and then I comment. So what Whiting will do is that Whiting will get a notification to say that I have an assignment for me, yeah, to do this. Now, another way of collaboration is that to change. Yeah, okay. I can do stuff like this. Do you notice this up here that says editing? Yeah. So editing here means that everything you do is typed over. And remember, someone was saying, you know, this part. So how do I prevent people from overwriting? Now, in Microsoft Word, if you're used to it, you have this track changes. Yeah. So you can do things like suggesting. So if I'm suggesting, I can do things like a new term. Yeah. So what it does is that it doesn't overwrite what my colleague has written, but I have changed it to a suggestion. So what this person will say is that, do I want to accept? Now, this is the case where you want someone to do an ad, for example, add Whiting, and Whiting will say, yes, I accept it or not. Yeah. So when I do this, right, I want to accept, then it disappears, right? So this is a way that we normally do instead of track changes. This is something that you want to turn on when you're trying to collaborate, but you don't want to overwrite what people are writing, yeah, because you want to see what are the changes. Now, this is something that we also use for documents that we want to send out to customers and so on and so forth. Yeah, so this is one of the ways that we want to collaborate together more effectively. Okay, the next one we need to do is, I will do it in a different site, but these are the two things that we want to do here. Now, if you have completed something, you can open the comment history and say, actually, I've already done it, so please review this line. And if Whiting answers it, Whiting will say, done, yeah? And it disappears and the comment is completed, yeah? So this is the way that you want to, for example, just make sure that all the changes that you have asked people to track. So this is a way for you to help to track different things together, yeah? So of course, if you are typing together, today I don't have another person, so I can't show you the two people typing, but that is more of you kind of like knowing who is typing and who is open. Now you will notice up here, right? Because I'm the only one editing, you can't see all the people that is actually collaborating with you. Yeah, so you actually will see, and all of them will be represented with different colors. Okay. So this is the one. Now, imagine that this is an email that I have already said, okay, yeah, so ready to go. I can click on this and preview in Gmail. All right. So can you see that? Sorry, I didn't type it in the body. Yeah. Okay, let me just go back and type this in the body. Let me close this for a while. Okay, so I'm going to do this in the body of the email. Sorry about that. Yeah, okay, and I say accept. Now I click this. And you see, okay, so right now it has actually bring up Google Mail, and now you can decide whether you want to send it out once it's finalized. Now you say, hey, wait, so what am I going to do if I need people to approve it? Yeah, I cannot just simply send it. Yeah, so what I'll do is that I'm going to switch it back to here, and I'm going to just jump into an advanced feature. Oh, sorry. Now, let's say, for example, you're happy with this email, and you said, actually, I want to do a couple of things, yeah, because I want to lock this document so that now nobody else can change this email draft before I send it out, yeah? When you click on this approval here, you can click on it. You can make a request for someone to do the final approval of your email draft. And you can say add a due date. For example, I want Marian. Oops, sorry. Yeah, Marian. Yeah, and I want Marian to approve it. Yeah, and I want to lock it before approval. So I can now send a request to Marian to do the approval, and I click the send. Right? I will say, yeah, just leave it commenter, and I send. Now, what will happen now is nobody can change the file while you are going to be getting the approval. Can you see over here? Robin has actually sent an approval to Marian, and Marian needs to look at it and approve it before, and then they can send it. So this is a way that you can now lock the file. Nobody else can change anything on it. Let's say even I, as the owner, I can no longer edit the file. If I edit the file, if I unlock it, of course I can unlock it, but all my approvals are reset. Yeah. So this is a way that you could do it, and so that you can be assured that the file that you have now collaborate together is locked and sent for approval, so that the final document actually goes out. Yeah. Okay. Any question? Oh, got that. Okay. All right. Let me go back. Okay. Yeah. Oh, there's no limit. You can do the whole world if you want. Yeah. But of course, there's no hard limit. Maybe the limit is 1 million. I don't know. I never tested the limit. Yeah. Okay. Because you can also give it to a group. Yeah. Meaning that the group can be 100 people. So that's how you can actually also change it. So that, let's say, for example, if there is a real limit, and then you said, well, actually, I hit the real limit. So what you do is that you put these users in the group, and then after that, you can increase the limit. This is how in Google Workspace, right, we handle limits. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the next tip. Yeah, so I've actually done the tip of drafting together and approvals, and I'm going to look at other stuff that later on. Yeah. Okay, tip number 4. Oops. Now, somebody actually asked a question, right? What happens if I actually deleted something and somebody deleted? Now, this actually happen to be all the time, yeah? So, it's like, oh no, I did a 20 slide, and I think Sham already answered this, yeah? Because then you can always look at the version and get back what you have. Now, I need to give you this tip is because just now I did a tip about suggesting, yeah? So don't delete people's things. You are just suggesting the change because they ask you to comment, right? So that's the first thing. Change from editing mode to suggesting mode. Number 2 is you can get back the version. Yeah, okay, let me just do that. All right. Now, over here, if I have, for example, collaborate together, I will open this. Okay, and now I can go to File. I can go to Version History and see the version history. All right, so it tells me that what are the changes that I made. And if I go back today, right, like how many changes, I can go back all the way to this, the beginning, where I only had the skeleton, and then I type something like testing, every change that I have. Now, then this is a way that if you were doing a slide, right, oops, I deleted 20 slides, and it happened to me. I was like looking for the version history, and then I can say, please, up to you, right? Whether you want to overwrite, make this the current version, or make a copy. So normally I will try to make a copy, because then I will see whether which version I really want. Yeah, and later I'll talk a little bit about comparing two documents. So you can make a copy, and this is something that I do personally, because I want to make sure that I don't overwrite the previous version without checking what are the changes. Yeah, so this is how you can get back the previous copy. Now, one thing good is that they actually tell you what has been changed in every version. Yeah, okay, so for example, this is what happened, so you know exactly who is the culprit, who did it. Yeah, because the name of the person, now unfortunately I only have one person, so if I have two persons editing this document, you can actually see the version that was created by Robin Hood, or by Marian, or by Whiting. Yeah, so then what are the changes and what did they do? So normally I will actually track through all the versions and actually look for the version I really want, because sometimes I remember, oh, I saw this version, right, yesterday, last night, I was still doing, I was sleepy, this morning somebody deleted it. I will tell you, this is real life. It happened to me. I panicked, I went to a customer meeting, and then when I opened my file, everything was gone, and somebody actually made a modification to my document somewhere in the morning. So when I opened it, I didn't check. I went in front of the customer and said, oops. Okay, so then I had to recover the version. Okay, all right. So let us go on to the next tip. So this is the oops part, yeah? Hey, let's go back. Tip number 5. I need to discuss this with you. Yeah. Now, many times is that when we have document, now look at the way we are doing this particular webinar, right? I can't see my slide and I can't edit my file. I need to flip back and forth. Now, how did we solve it? So we actually solved it, I think, probably some time ago, but maybe you're not aware of it. So I'm going to switch back to my document. Yeah, and I'm going to turn this off. Oops. All right, so you can still see this. Do you see this video here? Okay. Now, if let's say you're working on this document and you want to call somebody and you want to talk to somebody, you want to see them while you're editing the file. So what you do is that you click on this. There's two things you can do. Either you start a new meeting and invite them, or you already have a meeting going on and you use a meeting code. Yeah. So this is how, let's say, for example, I want to start a meeting. Right? Now, it's going to be a bit, let me just switch off so that it doesn't disturb people. So now I actually started a meeting, and now I can actually go in and add other people into this meeting. For example, I share with them the link, and so I tell them, can you join this meeting? And they will actually appear here in the column so that you can talk to them while you're editing. Yeah. Now, of course, this document is, let me unlock it so that I can edit it. Yeah. So, okay, done now. I lost my video. Just give me a minute. All right. So now I can talk to the person, and you can see this volume here, right? I hope it's not echo. Okay. And then I can start typing, and I say, hey, what do you think about this? Okay. What is the question? Sorry. If you delete the document, it's always in your trash for 30 days. You can go to your trash and look for your documents. Of course, after 30 days, it's gone, I think. Yeah. So even, okay, I found out something interesting, right? You asked a very interesting question. So I was trying to access the document that was shared by someone, but the person deleted it. That means the owner was not me. I was trying to access a document that they already threw away. So what Google Docs did was that Google Docs pointed me that to say that the person actually moved the document to a trash. So if you want to look at the document, you can make a copy of the document from the trash. So it's always in the trash. Yeah. Okay. Actually, the person that shared, so yeah, so you can imagine, right? So if the owner throws it away, you can still access it if they have shared the document with you. I hope that answers your question. Yeah. We don't really delete it unless you empty the trash, then it's gone forever. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's go back to this. Yeah. So over here, let me just change it back to this collaborate together. Yeah. So over here now, I don't really can, I think, because it's not using the camera here. So because Robin is not part of this meeting, I could not bring the meeting into this document, but actually you can. So next time I will actually record something that shows you how a meeting is actually brought into this. Now this trick that I actually did, right? A lot of my salespeople don't understand, because sometimes I want to call them and ask them about something. And it's very hard to tell them, no, please look at line number 1, 2, or whatever. I want to change it immediately. So I found this very useful to bring them into a call, or at least start a call with them inside the document so that we can work on it together. Okay? All right. Let me go back to this on tip, the next tip. Yeah. Okay, I'm running low on time. I need more tools. Now, sometimes a lot of people complain, I think some of this Google stuff, right? It's not enough. I need more. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I forgot to share. So you said I need more stuff. Now, there are a lot of developers out there that actually create tools for Google, for Workspace. Yeah. And you can actually find them. So where do you find them? Let me just switch back to my doc. Okay, tools. No, sorry. Look at extensions. Go to add-ons. Get add-ons. Now, because you're in Google Docs, they will actually highlight the add-ons you can put in. That is for Google Docs. Now, if you're in Google Slide, they will suggest to you the add-ons for Google Slide. If you are in Mail, they will actually show you the add-ons. So that's one of the add-ons that I really, yes, that's a question. Yes, oh wait, the question? No, well, you can, okay. When a Microsoft document is stored in Google Drive, you can still sort of edit the same copy. Yes, you can. But a lot of the features are missing. I hope that answers your question, yeah? I haven't actually found, I actually did the same thing. So what I did was that I actually have a Word document that was sent to me and I was trying to collaborate on it. What we do is that we can edit the same file, the same version, but a lot of the stuff doesn't really work because actually you give me a good reminder. So what we can do is that probably I'll make a short video next time and put it on YouTube to show the differences between collaboration on a Microsoft Word that is on Google Drive and the difference between like what you not see, yeah, what you see and what you not see, so that at least you have an idea of what it looks like when you're doing collaboration on Google Word. Yeah. Any particular translate doesn't work. Yeah. I think the comments still work. But I have to go and look at it, so I can't. Yeah, what I'll do is that we'll probably want to put it in our Q&A and then get back to you. Yeah, what doesn't work. So sorry, because I just did it recently, but I didn't really observe what was missing. All I know was that the number of items right on the menu bar is only 4, I think, compared to the number that you actually see in a real Google Docs. Let's look at this one. So what you do is that, let's say, for example, I want to use, you can see all if you want. Yeah, the one that I like is actually Style Sheet, which I actually downloaded. Yeah. Later on, you know, realize what I need. Yeah. So let's say, for example, I want to do, okay, now, Stars sheet in Google Docs is not as extensive as Microsoft Word. I use Microsoft Word a lot using the style sheet. But what you do is that you can do these add-ons. So what you do is that you can click on this and install. Yeah. So of course you have to be careful. Make sure that this is normally we have already validated this, but they may be a freemium. Yeah. You know, like bombard you with advertisements. So you can always uninstall it and then you can just click on install. You will get the new tools. Later on, I will demo one of the tools that I've actually added. Okay, for in my own document. Okay. So this is a way that you could do to do this. Now, if you want to remove anything, of course, you can say, I want to manage add-ons and I want to manage my add-ons so that, you know, then you can kind of delete or whatever. Now, this one I think is still locked. So let me just unlock it. That's why we can't. Okay, maybe I'll use another document later on. Yeah. Okay. So let me just stop this. Yeah. All right. Okay. So those are the add-ons. You can look at it. There are lots of it. Really. So let me try one then. Because this user doesn't have any add-ons. So let's say I want to add in a popular one. Let's say lucid chart. Maybe not. Okay, sign easy. Install. So it will actually ask you about permissions. Right. Sorry, yeah. Okay, I'm going to do it for this, and they're going to give you a list of permissions, and you feel very uncomfortable, then you should not install this, because you say, why does it need so many things? I've actually encountered some add-ons, right, that ask me for so many things that I just abandoned it. Yeah. So you could make sure you check through whether these are okay with you. Yeah. If it's not okay, you just go ahead and cancel it and forget about installing it. All right. Okay. So these are tools that we can add on. Let me just go back to my next tip. Oh, I did this again. All right. Hey, now tip number 7. Minutes of meeting. Okay, how many of us, right? Remember, I think some of you did not attend my session before. So what happened is that I actually told you how to add minutes of meeting into the meeting invite, yeah, so that you have a document that you can document down the minutes of meeting. Now, what happened if you forgot and now you have to go back and create the minutes of meeting? Yeah, so let me just go back to here, and I'm going to create a new document. I've got to tell you, so we actually have this few things, right? Like create an encrypted document. So this is what we call the client-side encryption. Now, when you actually create an encrypted document, the document is actually encrypted, but some of the collaboration stuff doesn't work because it's due to the security. Yeah. Now, I shall not do that. I will just do a normal document. Right. So right now, I am going to say, like, insert a custom meeting notes. Yeah. So I can do this like a demo. Meeting notes. Right. Now I can do things like add, and add will actually tell me what do I want to do, and I want to do a meeting note. So they said, is it that you want to do a meeting note for this demo session? Okay. Now, so what happened was saying that it picks up from my calendar and say that this was a meeting that I scheduled, and the attendees were Marian, Robin, and Whitey, and I have like the skeleton to say notes and action. Yeah. So over here you say yes, some of the attendees don't have, and I say yes and attach. So this document will actually go and attach itself to your calendar invite. Yeah. Okay. Later on. So what you do here is that you can type your notes and say that Marian didn't turn up. Yeah, didn't turn up. I'm just being mean to Marian. Okay. And I want to assign a task to Marian. Yeah. So I can say, you have to prepare a template for the demo slide. Let's say, okay, now it's going to stay like this if you don't do anything, right? Nobody's going to look at it and say, who is supposed to do it? So you can click here and set assign as a task, and I want to assign it to Marian, right? And what is the due date? Okay, I'm going to give her until 31st of December, and maybe I shouldn't do it to Marian. So I want to show you the calendar, right? So let's say I want to assign it to Robin. And I assign as a task. So right now, Robin gets this as a task, and he can actually see it in his task list. Yeah. Now, if you don't believe me, okay, I will show you Robin's task list. Okay, so this is Robin's email box, and if you look at the task, ta-da! Do you see that? Yeah, it's automatically created as a task for him. Okay, so this is how you can make your minutes of meeting actionable, yeah, rather than just being a minutes of meeting. Now, if I actually look at calendar and I click on this, you can see that the document that I just created is attached to my session. Yeah, so now you can actually see that the meeting I forgot to attach the minutes of meeting, so now I can actually attach it. Now I find that this is very useful, especially for recurring meeting. You can keep editing this document for your recurring, so that you put a new date and you add in a new calendar entry into the document itself, and it becomes a live document. So this is how you can, number one, document your meeting in meeting notes. Number two, assign tasks to people, and then you can track it. Now, let's say, for example, Robin say, I've done it, I've finished it. So how do you tell people? So what you do is that I'm going to close this, and I'm going to look at my task list, and he says, well, done. Okay. Now, if you go back to the meeting notes, you see, it's automatically ticked and done, right? So this is how you would, like, at least, right? Nobody's going to go there and say, so did you finish? Did you finish? Because the person who completed it will just have to say, yes, I've done it, and it gets automatically updated in your meeting notes. Yeah. So I hope that this part is actually quite interesting for you to say, okay, this is a new way of doing meeting notes, but I think that it is actually very, very useful. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the running a bit late, behind time. I'm only halfway through, so I'm going to be a bit faster. Okay. Looking for content. Now, this is a kind of a secret tip that a lot of people don't know. Now, this is a feature that we expanded in our Duet AI, but don't worry, don't have to wait until Duet AI. You can do it today. Yeah. So I'm going to switch back to my Google Docs. Yeah. And I'm going to say, you know what? I need to explore. Now, you see this under tools? Explore. And they said, what do you want to do? Do you want to search all your documents or the web for content? You say, I want a picture of a flower. So it's going to say, oh, you don't have any inside your documents, but I found some on the web, and I found some here. And you can click on it and say, you know, okay, let me go down. There should be an insert button somewhere. Oops. Oops. Okay. Sorry, it didn't work. Okay. Something happened to my Explorer. Okay. Let me try it again. I want to do, maybe I just have to do this. I need to look for a flower. Image. I'm gonna flower here. Ta-da! Now I've got a flower in my dock. Okay? So this is the explore, and you could look up of quotes, anything, right? Because when you look at here, cloud search will search for content that's already available in your environment. So let's say you're looking for a doc to click on to attach a link. You want to look for a website reference, or you want to look for an image. So this is something that is hidden, right? Somewhere there. You didn't even know. What on earth is this explore? Yeah. So this is a very useful tool that I feel that you could actually explore. Yeah. So moving along. Okay. The next tip, tracking stuff. Yeah. Now, many times we actually do things like as I mentioned before, we have a project and we want to track the status. We have a document that we need to track. So I'm going to show you again some other features of Smart Canvas that you can actually use to track stuff. So let me go back to this. Now, let's say I want to include the tracking within my minutes of meeting. I do the same thing. I can insert building blocks, and now I can, okay, how about tracking a review? Yeah. So in this case, now you could actually put, like in this tracker, I want to put a person. Yeah. So YT needs to do this, and YT will be notified that she will be reviewing this. And you can do things like, I'm just going to speed it up along. I can insert things like a file for me to track. Yeah. So you could do things like that, and then when she's done, she can actually put a status in progress, or she has approved, under review, and stuff like that. Yeah. So you can actually use the minutes of meeting or a document to actually track things that's going on. Now there's a lot of different types of tracking. So I kind of like it's all under building blocks. So you could be tracking things like product roadmap, which is like a project status. I know it's a bit off. Yeah. Project status, you can do that as well. Yeah, because it's a bit off, but you can do that. Or you can track all kinds of things. Yeah. So I'm going to kind of speed along. My moderator is not complaining. Okay, you're talking too slow. Yeah. Okay. Comparing two documents. So this is a case where you have copy 1 and copy 2. Now remember, we can't stop people from making copies of our document. And sometimes we make copies of our own document as well. So you, oops, sorry. Okay, documents as well. So you can actually click on the compare and compare it with another document which is similar and say that what is the difference between these two documents. Yeah. So the way to do it is, I will go back to this. Now I made a copy of this document, yeah, and what I do here is that I will just do tools, everything's under tools, yeah, compare document. And they said, well, what is the document you want to compare? And I can click on my drive and say, I actually have a copy of demo track and I want to compare these two documents, yeah. So there is a copy of this and I want to compare these two documents. And then they will tell me what Robin did, yeah. So Robin added something, Robin added this, Robin updated, selected time, yeah. So these are the differences that Robin did to this document that was not in the original document. So this is just a way that you could, they actually tell you the comparison between the two documents that you asked to compare, yeah. Okay, now let me move on quickly. All right, tip number 11. Now I've already shown you this. So remember just now I said about suggesting, and then when you tick, it just says accept changes. Yeah. So I actually combine both together. So do that, and I'm going to skip. Okay. This is something that you want to try out. What happens if you hurt your fingers? Okay. And you say, I want to. Now I've tried this before. I don't know how accurate it is. It all depends on my accent. So I'm going to just do this. Let me just switch again to my document, and I'm just going to create a new document, and then I said voice type testing. Yeah, hopefully it works. Okay, hello. How are you? I am fine, thank you. Okay, all right. So in this case, right? So if you are, I don't know, I haven't tried Bahasa. So if anybody's gonna ask, does it understand other languages? Probably it does, but I haven't tested it. So let me try. They will ask me, right, language. So let's try Malay. See how good is my Bahasa Melayu? I cannot guarantee. Wait, it's called Bahasa Melayu, sorry. Bahasa Melayu. Okay, not Indonesian. Huh? Selamat pagi. Saya sehat sahaja. Okay. I hope, I don't know, you're not impressed. But let's say, for example, you decide that, you don't know how to type or you can't type for some reason, and then you can actually use this. Yeah. Okay. That is voice typing. Right. So the next one is styling my document, which everybody kind of hates because Google doesn't have a lot of styles. Yeah. Now let me just. I hope I've actually installed the styler in my document. Okay. Now you will realize that in Google Docs, let me just say this. Heading, body. Okay. Now the way that you will want to do the thing is post format, and then you will say paragraph style, and there's only title, subtitle, heading, heading 2, heading 3. There's only 6 heading types you can do. Let's say I want to do this as apply heading. Now you say, I really hate this font. Let me do something fancy. Yeah. And I said, well, I want to change it to Comic Sans because I like it. And I can actually do the same thing. Let's say I do another heading. Okay, and I'm going to assign this to heading 1 as well. Yeah. Now, what happens if I said I want this to be my default heading style? So I can do the same thing. I said, instead of applying heading, I want to update heading 1 to match. And now all the fonts, all the styles that you have actually applied, heading 1 will take on the new style that you have defined. Yeah. So every time you want to change the style, then you can, let me just close this, then you can actually apply the styles. Yeah. Now I actually, I didn't, there is a style that I add on. Let me just get that. Now you say, Martin, I'm not actually kind of happy with the styles. Okay, what I'm doing is that I'm just installing this style here. Oops. Okay, so can you see that Google actually protects you? So this is not a good one. Okay, and let me try another. Okay, so let me switch to my actual one, which I installed some styles. So let me just go back to here, and I'm going to hold on. I'm going to, sorry, I didn't share that one, right? So I'm going to create a doc, and I'm going to share one that I already installed some styles. All right. So over here, I actually said, over here, I actually installed this called Super Style. Yeah. So I said, well, I'm not happy with 6 headings. I cannot do anything fancy. So I actually can have this add-on called Super Styles. And now I can create a new style. Yeah. And I can say, well, what is this new style going to be? And I said, well, I'm going to call it my style. And I want it to have, Comic Sans. And I want the font to be 18. Yeah. So this is the style that I want. Okay, so now I'm going to type here something like, oh, new style. And then now I can say, apply new social selection. Ta-da! Okay, now you've created new styles for yourself that you can actually apply. Now, what happens if you want to change it? You do the same thing, right? You update the style, then you apply the style. So this is a nice add-on that I have found that can actually help to make your formatting a bit better and not complain. Microsoft Word has this and you don't have this. So you can always add on different styles that you want to use in your document. Okay, I'm going to quickly move along again. Okay. Now, the next one that I want to talk about is smart chips. Now, this is a little bit different from the smart, the blocks that you saw, building blocks. So now, and then the last, I'm going to show you the last tip as well together. It's called more about building blocks, yeah? So the last two tips, I'm going to do it together, and I'm going to switch over to, never mind, I will keep it to my particular document. Okay, so over here, I can say that I can insert, let me just put that here, new style, I'll leave it as new style. And I said I can insert a smart chip. What is it that I want to do? Well, this is just kind of like, I can insert a file. Yeah, so it could be a file that I got from someone, let's say, bless my goodness, sorry that I actually have this, but you can't see it. So I can install a file, and when you click on it, you can actually go to the file. And you can do things like insert, yes. Oh, question, okay. Yes. Okay. Actually, you'll be surprised, right? Let me just share with you that some of this Malay TTS, right, is actually thanks to Malaysia. There are many things that we actually asked to improve Bahasa. Yeah. And so we actually put in a case because Malaysia is actually not very big, right? And Bahasa Melayu is not spoken by millions of people. So we actually put in a case, and now the WaveNet for Malay TTS is very human-like. Yes, correct. So we actually can use this for our chatbot. In fact, our chatbot actually understands Malay and can speak Malay, yeah? Not Indonesian, Bahasa Melayu, yeah? So you can actually implement chatbots with those. Thank you very much, yeah. Okay. Can I use voice file to convert to voice typing? You can convert a voice file to transcript text, yes. But later on, I mean, it doesn't, I haven't tried it. So your idea was, can I play a voice file and convert it to voice typing? I never tried it. You give me a challenge, I will try it. Yeah. So that, let's say you want to transcribe. Normally what I do is that I use a different tool called transcribe. So it is called speech to text. You can actually upload the clip and it will actually transcribe it for you. Can I do it the Malay TTS now? I don't think we have time today. Maybe we'll put that as one of our webinars, or we can do a separate YouTube video for this. Thank you for your suggestion. Yeah. Oh, please try it. You really want to try the clip, the TTS? Well, I don't think we have time. I'm so sorry. Yeah, thanks. I know I really want to show it too. Let's see how much time we have left, and then I'll try to go into the that part which I explained, yeah, about the playing back. Okay. So other chips would be, for example, you can have a timer. Okay, you can do stuff like that. When you want to keep people honest, maybe only have 5 more minutes to talk. Yeah, and then you can do things like other stuff like voting, a place, a calendar invite, yeah, and so on. Yeah, so this could be it. Yeah, and then finally, what I want to say is that you can create your own building blocks. Let's say, for example, you have something that you want to do, like something Madani, blah, 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 right? Then you want to insert it always in every document that you have. So let's say I want to say, Selamat menyambut Hari Kemerdeka. Okay, let's say I want to do this, yeah? And I can make this into a building block. So I can go in and say, I want to do a custom building block. And this is the one, a new one. Okay, and the name that I want to give it is tagline. Okay, so now I will say that whenever I want to insert this building block into any of my documents, I just have to insert building blocks, custom building blocks, and it will ask me which one, tagline, ta-da! So I can create my own building blocks, whatever format that you want, and then you can actually, and it's quite useful, yeah? So that's about it for my 15 tips. Actually, I can go up to 20 tips if you want. So I'm going to switch back and see whether there's any question. But I really want to share a couple of last things with you, which is, right, we have an upcoming summit. Before I end this, RPA summit that is happening. So do sign up. And we also have a special promotion for Google Workspace. For some of you who are kind of, wow, this is the first time I'm actually looking at Google Workspace. So we have a very special offer for both Business Starter and Enterprise Starter. And these are some of the information that the price, you can compare it with the public website. It's a lot cheaper, believe me. And please contact us if you're interested to purchase Google Workspace subscription, yeah? And then with that, thank you very much.